Hi. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and explain tarot and the definitions as much as possible in a short period of time. Okay, so this is going to be just like the basics of like the definition. So there are going to be increasingly more information that could be given about each card really. But again, I'm just going to go ahead and cover the basics as much as possible. And instead of going from like like Ace of Cups to the Two of Cups and so on and so forth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and group them together because I have realized that whenever you correspond like the same numbers or like the same, I guess, suit with each other, then they pretty much balance out pretty well. So right now we're going to go ahead and start with all the twos, okay? This is going to be from the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. All right, so when it comes to like the two emotions, that's all going to be about bonding ties between individuals. Usually it's between relationships, but relationships can also mean friendships, partnerships, and even the connection between acquaintances getting stronger and just overall just connecting. Okay, so to the material, it's going to be kind of like in the same process of, but it also links to opportunity being given. This is where more foundation and teamwork can be given. Two of Swords is going to be about this like indecision, not having the like too many ties or not understanding like how many opportunities are actually there. Two of Inspiration, it's going to be kind of like the same thing of like being inspired more and more and just things coming about and happening. All right, so with the threes, Three of Materials, Pentacles, it's about like cooperation with others and just building so that things can come together. And with this card, this is more likely than not, I keep seeing actual teamwork. It's kind of like having that angel number 333, but also incorporates that through teamwork makes the dream work kind of thing. And that's what I have witnessed in my spreads. So good emotions, it's kind of like, again, the bonding of ties, but it's going to be like family based. It's going to be relationship based. And it's just like overall like happiness coming together and finally intertwining. Three of Inspiration is going to be the exact same thing, except it's kind of like that domino effect of like like things being overcome and smooth sailing between individuals and self. Three of Voices is going to show that conflict is going to be mended between more than two individuals. And it could be done with said belief or infidelity, but it's always going to be that conflict that lingers between like two people and a third party. Even if it is like said third parties just having their 2 cents in and they shouldn't to begin with. Okay, so Four of Voices, this is going to be the same thing as Four of Swords, and this shows that no matter what, whatever you're facing is going to need to be put on hold so that recuperation can happen, because not enough clarity is given at this time, and there's like this overwhelming desire, and that's why it's just like, ooh, okay, revamp, because as much energy as you try to gain forward, it's not going to help in the long run. For emotions, that's all going to be about like internal struggling affairs, and what it's basically showing is like like suffering, losing, but not being able to deal with the sensibility of like what's going on in here towards what's going out there. So it's becoming increasingly overwhelming. Four of Inspiration, that's going to show kind of like a security blanket of dreams and ambitions and projects just coming forward more than anything else. Four of Material, Four of Coins, is going to show more so of the exact same thing of Four of Wands, but it's going to be more when it comes to home and family. Okay, but also career, because it has everything to do with the foundation itself. All right, so 5 emotions. This is going to be an initial blockage that is coming more so from within than anything else. So it's just like that emotional dilemma. And what needs to be recognized here is that not much can be done about the situation, or to make you feel better or to be comforted at that time. 5 materials, it's more of a symbolization of obstacles and consequences that are dealing from the outside world. So like think of 3D plane, think of like normal life that is like delivery being blocked and holding you like hostage. Okay, 5 voices. That is going to be about having to realize that not everything can be negotiated the way around, but some things can be. So it's just like you have to really, really pick and choose your battles, because some battles are not meant to be won, especially when it comes to the 5 of Swords. Just it really is not. All right. 5 of Inspiration, 5 of Wands. That's going to be all about, again, things that are being incorporated, being put in the way. But it's just like, to me, it's more about like waiting on others to decide more than anything else, because what you are fighting or what you're trying to get through is not always dictated on you, especially with that card alone. It's like always someone else has the upper hand, or it's all upon them. All right, so 6 of Emotions, 6 of Cups. It's 6. See, when I see this card, it is definitely going to be about that creative drive and things happening, things coming together so smooth sailing. But it's with the instruction and guidance of others. So it's fundamentally a good bonding card as well, and a connection card. 6 materials, that's going to be incorporating, uh, a sense of security and accomplishment when it comes to home life and family. Because with that card, I do see a lot of family coming in. 6 of Inspiration. This is where you're gravitating towards like working with others so that you can become like your own shining star, because this is where the reins that you have been held onto, or even been connected to you, are like lifted and let go of. 6 of Voices, 6 of Swords. That's going to be all about, it can be very, very mindset orientated, where like getting in your own way, but it can also indicate like suppression of self in some sense, in some order. So whether you are sacrificing yourself due to a belief, a thought, someone else, it doesn't really matter. It's just there's no real counteraction other than overthinking that is going on here, and like dread and doubt. 7 of Wands, 7 of Inspiration. That is going to be about having to not just have a goal, but rather have a plan behind it, and a plan, B even after that, so that whatever you're trying to like finish or complete has the best capability possible in order to be completed. 7 Emotions. This is all going to be about illusional basis, and it's all about like you're just like, okay, I'm gonna have a hand in this, this, and this, and this, but it's an illusion, because it's just like, look, you can only do so many things at once, and some things are gonna have to remain as priority, while other things are gonna be left on the back burner. So this is where a person can get fixated on stretching themselves thin, and they really can't at this time. 7 of coins or materials. This is where extra work is going to be needed, persistence and drive as well, because whatever project that is being worked on at this time won't see results until like later on down the line. So that's why it's going to be very important to have that drive and persistence. Seven of Voices. I know whenever I see this is all going to be about like understanding that like betrayal is in the air, or betrayal has already happened, whether that is like denial of self, like love, or whether it's actually like being taken advantage of by others in that sense. Okay, so it's going to be Eight of Materials, Eight of Coins. That shows that through hard work, you know, a lot of things are going to begin to manifest, begin to flourish, and it's going to be seen, it's going to be known, and it's just like whatever is being worked on is yours for the taking. Eight of Emotions, Eight of Cups is going to be about either you leaving behind a very, very heartfelt belief, or like the separation of like two individuals. And it does not have to be relationship related. It could just be a person like leaving a job, or, you know, just leaving a friendship. Regardless, it's going to be that separational process in order to find yourself, because of a void. There's initially always going to be a void. All right, Eight of Inspiration, Eight of Wands. That is also going to show that things are underway, and that it's like working through more barriers than anything else. But it's with good understanding that those barriers are like temporary more than anything else. Okay, so Eight of Voices, Eight of Swords. That is going to incorporate that some things are not meant to be worked on, because it's kind of like that validation of having to surrender. But it's just like sometimes it's giving up and sacrificing what is believed. Other times it's just having to give up a dream or a goal completely. All right, Nine of Wands, Nine of Inspiration. That's all about the beginning of like late night dilemmas. But it's like taking on burdens. It's realizing that like limitations are there, restrictions are there, whether it be for, you know, yourself or others. They're just there, and they can be seen, they can be heard, they can be just witnessed. Regardless, it's going to remain the same. Now, Nine of Emotions, Nine of Cups is going to be all about wishful thinking. In other words, whatever is dreamed about is going to come to flourish. And if not now, then very, very soon, because it's like whatever is wanted is like merely, you know, fingertips away, but right there. Nine of Voices, Nine of Swords. This is where overthinking and overanalyzing and over worrying to begin with is going to cloud the judgment of a sound mind. And this is where people begin to fight, whether they are like right or wrong, or how they should deal with certain conflicts and situations. And making a decision when in that energy is not going to be the best. Nine of Materials, Nine of Coins. It shows that, again, things are coming together. You know, they are flourishing, but it's more, again, on a materialistic field. And it's just like whatever like business associations are coming about, they are going to widen, they're going to happen, they're going to thrive more than anything. And that's going to be a very, very beautiful part. All right. Ten of Voices, Ten of Swords. This is where a lot of things are going to have to be like put through the bases of understanding, because whenever I see this card, more than likely, compared to like all the other cards in the spread, it shows a symbolism of having to like let go conflict, even though a lot of times it's supposed to reign some kind of conclusion. So this is where like the end is end, and sometimes it will be a little over dramatic, if anything else. All right, 10 of emotions, 10 of cups. It's going to show that it's going to be high time for happiness, whether it's reunions, bondage, or just get-togethers. It's showing that the heart chakra satisfaction is happening. It's there, and that it's going to just be a good, I would say, semi-smooth, but still proud moment, if anything else. 10 inspiration, 10 of wands. This is already showing that the efforts are way overextended. So much so that like having a hand in anything is going to kill and drain and exhaust the individual, especially since they're holding on to things that are no longer theirs or no longer matters. But it usually comes in terms when trying to help others while trying to help yourself. And this is where somebody needs to place themselves as the primary source that, hey, I matter first and then everybody else. But the person in this energy just tends to want to hold everything all together, and it's just not going to be physically possible. 10 of materials, 10 of coins. This is going to be about manifesting everything possible, like business, career. It's stability on like the highest scale, and that's the beauty of the 10 of coins, because it brings so much potential. But it's not like potential, it's like the completion of the potential. So it's just like instead of like just receiving, it's like just having it. So definitely a lot of blessings there. Page of voices, page of swords. Now I want to go ahead and discuss all the pages. So when it comes to pages, do understand that every page is going to be immature, naive, very, very early, young energy. So whether they define a situation or a person or a certain mindset, this is going to show what needs to be dealt with in order to move forward. So think of the page of swords here. This is an individual is going to like be quick thinking. They're just like, okay, I have this option, this option, but instead of like really thinking through of saying, hey, what is the best possible outcome for now and in the future, they're going to probably think more short term than anything else. So it's not exactly a full laid out plan, which is going to be needed in said situation. The same thing with the page of cups here, because this individual is, again, this is a person that's going to like make decisions upon just the heart alone. But instead, they kind of need to incorporate, yeah, I'm very passive, like passionate, and I'm very compassionate, I'm very like thriving in energy, but this is someone that needs to kind of like rein it back in and mature, because they're going to easily fall in love and easily fall out, and they tend to like throw tantrums when only dealing with, you know, a person in this energy. Page of wands. This individual is going to be very creative, but it's just like, okay, I am going to be a dreamer. I want to do this, 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 and this, and this. And even on a situational scale, it's just like, okay, let's do this and this, and let's kind of like wing it as we go along. And again, this can be that counteraction of, yes, having ideas is a good start point, but creating those ideas into a formulated plan is going to be the overall awesome thing. So they lack, that action orientatedness. Now, the Page of Coins. This is going to be a person that is like sensible and grounded, and they may be overly cautious, but still they're willing to go with the flow of things, especially as long as they're able to see immediate results. And sometimes situations don't happen that way. You got to be patient. And I got to say, none of the pages are patient whatsoever. Now, this is when we come to the Knights. The Knights are going to be a little different story. Every Knight is just that. They're action oriented. They're going to be hardworking, go-to getters in their own field of interest. So think of like the Knight of Coins here. It's going to be like, okay, everything that is in front of me, everything I can see, I can make happen. So this is going to be a real high potential situation or even person that is just wanting to break down the barriers and get through them, like no matter what. The Knight of Voices Swords here. This individual is going to have, said plan A, B, C, and think more with the mind. And the only fault here is that they can be too cynical when given just like half information. Okay, so it's just like, okay, I got to plan an action, then I got another one. So it can be an overthinking process, but know that, again, this is where all defeat is not in the picture. Knight of Wands here. This, again, is going to make, inspiration, dreams, reality, creativity, motivation in all kinds of fields just happen and gain traction. And it's actually a very, very good energy to be in, good situation, and especially a good person to be dealing with. The Knight of Cups, this is going to be a sentimental individual that is nurturing. So usually whenever I see the Knight of Cups, I see someone that is trying to like nurture someone else up. But again, they're action orientated. So do understand the difference between a page and a knight is going to be that maturity level. It's going to be that navigation of more of a solo energy, whereas the queen and the king are more fixated on, I guess, society-based and community. And that's where we're going to go into right here, which is the queen. So the queen of materials, or sorry, queen of coins as well, she is going to take in and see, I guess I forgot to say this. So all queens, no matter what, they're going to look for the best benefit for all, especially if it deals with a group of individuals. So I guess think of a leader, like, hey, even though I'm leading this, it's going to be for you guys. So that's kind of like the mindset of a queen here. And it's just like, look, as long as I'm taking care of this, I'm going to nurture as much as possible. I'm just going to have to do it in my own way. So Queen of Materials is just like allowing manifestations to happen, to occur. And she is a very, very hard worker, this Queen of Pentacles here. And what she likes to do is she likes to materialize and process things to be. And she's not going to be afraid of delegating, not so ever. Queen of Wands here, she's more liberated to push and empower others more than anything else. And even in a situation, she's going to be like a good omen for things to come about. The Queen of Swords, even though she lacks a lot of emotion, it does not make her any less susceptible to nurturing. Because what she does is having plans, having action, and not being afraid of anything. And that's the lovely thing about queens is like they thrive in their own energy. And it's a a beautiful energy to have when any queen comes. All right, Queen of Emotions here. This is, kind of like the abundance feel that, hey, even if not everything is all together, it's all right because they will come all together. All right, so this is where we're going to go to the Kings. In this deck, they're called the Muse. But, okay, so we have the King of Inspiration. And all kings across the board, they do thrive in the energy of, hey, a little solidarity, but they also kind of incorporate that assertiveness when in any spread with any subject matter. And what he likes to do is delegate, oversee, and overshadow. And this is to ensure that whatever situation has the best possible outcome, because no matter what, he's going to be strategic. He's going to know what he wants. Okay, even in a situation, it's just like, okay, how am I going to deal with it? So the King of Inspiration, that's going to be about, formulating those ideas and creative plans. But it's just like the impact of more self-control than anything in order to create passion and desire for the situation itself to overall thrive. Okay, King of Materials. This is not exactly thriving energy, but it is manifestation energy. So it's like everything coming about because it's hardworking power, but it is a lot of power on the forefront of like earth energy. The King of Cups here, it's more sensible when it comes to compassion, more sensitivity that needs to be given in nature to like a person or a situation, but it doesn't cut into the ties of, hey, this is going to happen because this is what needs to be done. King of Swords here, he is going to more incorporate more of a like sternness, but it's kind of being like that overall action planning, guiding, but also delegating to the cause itself and overcoming a lot of obstacles along the way. So it's kind of like that high power card for obstacles and just making things thrive. Now we have our aces. Everything with aces is going to be like good fundamental energy for completion, success, and overall things just turning on its head in the right direction. And I have found that even when it seems that everything is going to sway or completely the wrong direction, you're going to notice that later on, the ace energy is like, oh, nope, you needed a detour route. So that's kind of like what the aces do here, because it is formulating, some kind of energy to come into play here. Ace of Cups here shows that, inside ourselves, are going to be our works of connection with others. And that's definitely going to happen on a number of scale. Ace of Materials is more about home front, but also business, obviously, and just everything coming about. Ace of Voices, you're going to find a lot when it comes to conflict or when it comes to activities and favors that are just, especially legal. I don't know, it happens a lot with legal, where everything just comes in your favor. Ace of Inspiration. This is where creativity and drive just come for a solid purpose of evolving into oneself. All right, so, and then we have the Lovers here. So typically this is seen in a relationship spread, but when it is seen in a single spread, it can mean A, new relationship, or B, starting anew in combination of growing into someone else. Okay, the awakening. I believe this is the judgment card. Yeah, I think this is a judgment card. So when it comes to judgment, it's going to show that, consideration on all parts, open mind is going to be needed so that the process can come forth and overall resolve itself. But it also means not to have like critical judgment of self and doubts, because whatever is being thought of is already in the process of being undone. So whether that means you are being undone or a person is being undone, it means